My name is Maya Patterson. I'm 19 years old. I'm from Portland, Oregon. Um, I'm really into fashion. I kind of always have been. That's kind of like my biggest thing is clothes. So I have like a following on TikTok for it. I'm in California right now for treatment. I've been out here for almost 2 months getting treatment, but I've been at Solus the longest. I've been at Solus for about a month and a week now. So my childhood, my mom has epilepsy and cyclic vomiting syndrome, and my dad works. So I really had to take care of my mom, like my whole childhood, like throughout her episodes, and that kind of affected my mental health a lot because seeing my mom have seizures was just really hard for me, and I didn't really know how to cope with it. So I kind of thought drugs was the answer. So that's kind of when I started getting into weed, was when she developed epilepsy, and she ended up having a brain surgery for her epilepsy, but it didn't help her, and it was really hard seeing her go through that. So that also affected my anxiety a lot. I was very, very anxious at that time. I started smoking weed at like 15, like every now and again with my friends, but I got heavily into it at like 17, I would say. It did affect me in school a lot. I would just, my whole senior year, I skipped class. I barely went to any class senior year. I was kind of like a mean girl in high school, not on purpose. It was kind of just like a coping mechanism because I didn't really know how to treat things and people were mean to me, so I was rude back. But that definitely affected a lot of people, and like looking back on it, I do regret a lot of things, but at the same time, I wasn't myself because I was smoking every single day very heavily. Like, I would have a joint before I went to school, I would have a dab pen on me at school, I would hit it like every chance I could get. I would say that it affected me also, like with my schoolwork. I didn't graduate on time because of it, because I was just so lazy from smoking weed all the time. I didn't like want to do anything besides smoke. Um, so I had to take an extra like semester to be able to graduate, and people really like made fun of me for that. So that also played into my addiction a lot because I didn't know how to deal with that. I've never, like, no one that I know has had to go through that, and they didn't understand like the struggle of it. They kind of just thought that I was stupid and that was that, but it wasn't that. It was so much more going on between my family and like friendships and the drug use, and my mental health. And no one really, like, in Oregon, no one really takes mental health seriously. They just think that like something is wrong with you. And especially in high school, like kids don't understand that, so they just kind of pick on you, and because they think that you're just being lazy or you don't know something, but it's not that. It's so much more that's played into it. Um, I would say it was more so like I lived and I learned. Like, I don't necessarily regret it, and I know I should, but I don't really because I wasn't myself at the time. I was high all the time, so I wasn't the same person as I am now. Now with me being sober, I really am showing my personality and flourishing from being sober and realizing like what's right and what's wrong, like actually right and wrong. And now I like take responsibility for things, and I'm not a liar anymore. I'm a very honest person, and I'm open about everything now. And it's a nice feeling because I felt like I was so trapped when I was in my addiction, and it really played into my mental health, feeling so trapped. Because now being open and honest about everything, I feel a lot of clarity, and I feel like I've started to process things that I went through. My friend at the time introduced me to it. She had her own apartment, and so we could just do whatever we wanted. We could have anyone we wanted, and she knew a lot of people and had a lot of connections. Um, and she knew like a lot of people from like the clubs that are downtown, because in downtown Portland, because some of them you can go into if you're 18. And she just like met a lot of people, knew the owners, and had other friends that were like drug dealers. So she would just have them come over, and one night she was like, "I'm gonna do cocaine, don't be mad at me." And I was like, "Honestly, I'll do it with you, because why not? Like, I have nothing to lose." I didn't really care at the time. I just wanted to do whatever I could to feel anything, and weed wasn't really doing it for me anymore. I kind of just smoked because I had an addiction, and I had withdrawals if I didn't smoke, and I wouldn't eat if I didn't smoke. Um, So yeah, I would say that I just got introduced to it by a friend. So the weekend before Memorial Day, like that whole weekend, it was like the 3 days before, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. She had bought cocaine and like her friends were staying over and they had a bunch of cocaine. Um, and I was kind of just doing like line after line after line. Like I have a pretty high tolerance with drugs, so I was just doing so much because I didn't really feel it, and then it all hit me. And then it went away after like 30 minutes, so I would just keep doing it like every 30 minutes. And we could just do that because we had so much of it. Um, and then I was awake for like 3 days straight. I couldn't sleep. I didn't eat at all. So I literally was just doing drugs. That was what was fueling me that whole time. And we we had a friend come over, this white girl, and she ended up saying the N word, and I like walked away because I don't like that whatsoever. I don't stand for that. I'm black, so that's not something I like at all. And I'd had a conversation with, and she was extremely drunk. But I had a conversation with her, and I was like, I'm willing to stay your friend if you will stop saying that. But if you can't say that, then I have no respect for you, and you need to leave. And she kind of just like freaked out on me, started calling me the N word. So at one point I had pushed her and I was like, you need to get out. And she came and ran up on me with a Hennessy bottle and hit me in the head. And then we just started fighting. And from there, I could not stop fighting her. I ended up like her fingers ended up, not just from me because other people were also fighting her, but her fingers ended up broken. She was bleeding. We like dragged her out of the house. It was just really bad. It was like a mania episode. And I didn't realize what I was doing at the time, but immediately after, I had an extremely bad panic attack for like 30 minutes, and I was just so freaked out from what I did because I didn't think I was capable of that, but I wasn't capable of that. It was the drugs that overtook me, and made me do those things to her, and I always regret that because it was just so hard seeing me do that to someone that I once did care about a lot and I was friends with and hung out with. And I don't like treating my friends bad. I really hate that because I was treated bad in friendships, so I know what it's like to be on the other end of the stick. And um from that after that moment, I kept doing cocaine the next day, and I just had like a mania episode and freaked out. Like I was so completely out of it. And I went to a friend's house after that because my parents didn't want me to come home, because I don't remember what, but I had gotten in trouble for something. So I went over to a friend's house, and we did cocaine with my friend's boyfriend. She just did a little bit, but she didn't do much. And he ended up having to go to the hospital because it caused him heart issues, and he like couldn't breathe and all of that. So that was like really scary for me because I had brought it, so I felt like I was the reason that happened. And then her mom is close with my mom, so her mom told her what was going on because they didn't know at all. And my parents they weren't mad at me, they were just like scared for me, and they wanted me to get help, but I was just denying it and I was just lying to them. And then I remember I tried to jump out the car with my parents, driving because I was just so like out of it from the cocaine. And that was the moment I realized that I needed help because I can't be acting out like this. Like I will end up on the streets. And so I like was crying, and I was just like pleading them to get me help. And my dad got on the phone and he got me out to California. Really, really benefit from the therapy groups we have here. I'm not big on the one-on-one therapy. I just don't feel like it helps me as much, but just being around people that have also went through things and can like share their stories with me and give me advice, it really helps me want to stay sober, because like hearing stories of what they've done, it makes me think that, oh wow, that could have been me, and I could have been doing those things if I would have kept going and not gotten the help I needed. Like I don't know where I would be now if I didn't get help. I couldn't even imagine like what I would be doing. I just know it would be terrible and affect everyone that I love. Just don't be scared to ask for the help. It's a lot to ask for help, but there are people that understand and that are wanting to help you every day, and they want to see you get better and grow. And being here, especially being at Solus, it's helped me so incredibly much. I went to 2 other treatment centers before this. It's trial and error. It is going to take you a little bit to find the place that works for you, but Solus has helped me so much. I've I've grown just so much from being here. Like if you were to see me the first day I was here versus now, I'm just a completely different person. I feel like I've coped with so many things and I've processed so many things that I didn't think I would be able to process. And I it's really nice feeling being around sober people and just having that environment around you, and especially like living in a house with all of them. You create really good bonds and friendships with people you never would have thought that you'd be friends with. Like some of the friends here are so much older than me, like in their 50s or their 20s, like late 20s, and I just never would have thought that I would be so close with them, but they really are like a second family to me, and I'll always stick with these connections I have because I know that they're people I can lean on if I'm ever having thoughts of lapsing again or just being really down. They can help me and they will help me because they care about me so much, and you really do create a good bond with everyone, and it is so worth getting the help. You think that you're going to want to be in addiction for the rest of your life and that's all you're going to do and that's just how it's going to be, but that's not how it is. There's so much more out for you when you get the help you need, and you have such a clear mind and you can see things so much differently, and you're such a positive person once you get the help you need, because in addiction it's not your fault, but the drugs just cause you to be so down and so angry and so mad at the world and just hate everyone, but that's not who you are, and you just have to realize that it's the drugs and you can overcome it. It will be hard. It is a struggle, but it is just a season in your life, and once you overcome that, you have so much going ahead of you in life, and there's so much more out for you than just drugs or mental health issues.